And now, let's talk about how do you practice all these ideas? You're busy, you're in practice as a lawyer, you're in and out of court. When do you possibly have time to practice these skills? Here are some rules of thumb that will make it easier for you. We generally say there are 3 words that help you figure out how much should you practice. Practice alone, practice aloud, and practice a lot. What do we mean by that? First of all, let's think about how you practice and in front of whom you might practice. We always say at the beginning, go in your office, close the door, and practice alone. You can practice in your car too, you can practice walking your dog. But at the very beginning, don't practice in front of other people. Go someplace where you can make mistakes. Go someplace where the stuff that you don't want to come out in court can come out and there's no penalty. The stuff that might not be the smartest thing you ever said. The stuff where you had an idea about a phrase that you might want to use or an idea, but it came out wrong. Go someplace where you're free to make mistakes and there's no risk at all. And while you're in there, then you can start to develop your ideas. This is where you rough draft your ideas. And let's be clear, when we say go in a room alone, we mean go in there and start talking. Don't go in and start writing. Lots of attorneys will say, well, I was so busy preparing, I didn't have time to practice, meaning they were writing it out, writing down an entire opening. Now, if that's part of your process, go ahead and do it, but as soon as you can, put it aside. Condense it into some trigger points, the main ideas for an opening, the big topics for an examination. Then stand up, find your stance, take some deep breaths, and start talking. The best idea is to put on a timer. Put it on for 10 minutes. So it'll beep when it goes off and you're finished. See where you get in 10 minutes. The only way to find out what is 10 minutes of talking is to use a timer. So you're alone in your office, you're talking for 5 or 10 or 15 minutes, and you're talking off a list of trigger points. So right away, you've gotten yourself on your feet and you're simulating the conditions in the courtroom. If you keep writing, that's not simulating what it's like to talk out loud. And if you keep writing, that's in a different voice. You want to practice in your own voice, the voice you talk in, so you can start to hear yourself use lawyer words or police officer words. You want to weed out the stuff that's not in the vernacular. You'll probably be talking to a jury. That's a much more vernacular kind of talking, much more everyday speech than we speak in the legal profession. Your language needs to change, and the only way it can change is if you talk out loud.